Toate țările, fără nicio excepție din partea Uniunii Europene, trebuie să se înțeleagă că lumea s-a schimbat definitiv și întoarcerea la business as usual deja nu se poate. Uniunea Europeană întotdeauna a fost foarte bună în ceea ce privește soft power. Acum a venit timpul ca să fiu atât de bună și în hard power.
I think we all agree there are things that we'll want to do. There are reforms that we'll want to consider, whether it's the UN system or here closer to home in the European context, in the Euro-Atlantic context. But mostly, I think it's important that we think about the rules-based order, about the fact that this rules-based order, the international community, the work together has made us the most prosperous and most secure countries in the world. We've done very well over the past years. So as we think about reform, as we think about the need for change, which we know exists, we also don't want to lose the security that those rules gave us.
NATO is still the main source of security for Europe, and I suppose we'd add to that the OSCE. We hope that the OSCE can fulfill its role, its historic role, in the future.
Toate țările, fără nicio excepție din partea Uniunii Europene, trebuie să se înțeleagă că lumea s-a schimbat definitiv și întoarcerea la business as usual deja nu se poate, din mai multe motive. Și toate, absolut toate țările europene trebuie să aibă o atitudine nouă față de amenințările noi. De aceea, toată lumea trebuie să întreabă și să găsească un răspuns ce să facem cu un stat agresor care nu vrea nici negocieri, dar capitulare, care nu vrea nici coexistență pașnică, care trăiește uneori se pare în secolul XIX, în timp ce restul lumii trăiește în secolul 21. Avem nevoie de unitate, avem nevoie de expertiză mai precisă, tot ce se întâmplă în Federația Rusă. Avem nevoie de strategie de contracarare, avem nevoie de strategie militară. Și după părerea mea, strict, sigur că este personală, că trebuie să fie găsit un răspuns de tip de genul care a existat în perioada de războiul rece. Pentru că dacă nu se va schimba regimul politic, în cadrul statului agresor, nu se va schimba nimic.
Being an ally as a member of NATO implies certain responsibilities, so everybody should meet the minimum level or surpass the minimum level of investment in defence in their respective countries. So that's the first thing that should happen. Countries need to equip and re-equip and maintain stockpiles, and that will enable us to be in a position as individual countries to offer support when a non-NATO member is attacked, which is the case of Ukraine. So you're already seeing many countries which are members of NATO are in a bilateral manner offering material support to Ukraine, including our own country. Secondly, we need to get off this addiction that Europe has developed for Russian hydrocarbons. One of the effects of Russia's unjustified attack on Ukraine is to accelerate that process.
Uniunea Europeană întotdeauna a fost foarte bună în ceea ce privește soft power. Acum a venit timpul ca să fiu atât de bună și în hard power. Dimensiunea militară, din nou, trebuie să fie în vizorul tuturor țărilor europene. Mai multă armă pentru armatele naționale și pentru aliați. Mai multă sinceritate cu populația proprie în ceea ce privește Federația Rusă. Mai multă explicații pentru cetățenii săi că viața se schimbă și perioada de aur care se pare deja a trecut poate se va întoarce numai după eforturile enorme din partea fiecăruia locuitor Uniunii Europene.
Firstly, we have to join together and ensure that Russia's war against Ukraine is unsuccessful, that Russia loses the war. Because any alternative to that in the short term is completely unacceptable and takes us down a very, very bad path. And I'm confident that that will happen. Ukraine will win this war. The world really needs to unite, not just Europe, in support of Ukraine. In the medium term, I think it comes back to actually what I've mentioned already. I can't think of too many better ways to deter aggression than to prepare to defend ourselves and our friends through military preparedness and expenditure, and to wean ourselves off Russian energy.
Each organization is different as well. So we see the European Union thinking about its own enlargement, thinking about, of course, granting the candidate status to Ukraine and the Republic of Moldova, which the United States thought was a very good decision. Certainly on the NATO side, we see an organization that has been given new purpose, thinks about itself and thinks about the threat that is out there that Russia has shown through this invasion of its neighbor in Ukraine. That NATO really does need to think about the security as a very short-term and immediate consideration, but also the midterm about how do we consolidate and think about the eastern flank of NATO and think about how partners in NATO work together. We obviously have the OSCE as well, which is important because it covers all of the countries of Europe and the United States and Canada. I think that's another one. We want to continue to maintain the good things that come out of the OSCE, but we should also be open, thinking about how we might modify and change things in response to security threats.
Oriunde Republica Moldova are nevoie de un ajutor sau o asistență, Uniunea Europeană trebuie să ofere. Da, avem în vedere neutralitatea Republicii Moldova, dar fiecare țară neutră trebuie să aibă resursele suficiente de a apăra această neutralitate. Dacă Republica Moldova să fie înconjurată, de exemplu, de țările membre Alianței Nord-Atlantice, ok, neutralitatea poate fi efectivă și recunoscută de către vecinii. Dar dacă Republica Moldova nu are o asemenea environment, atunci are nevoie de mai multe instrumente de a apăra.
I think the United States, the European Union, the UK and other partners, we're all working together to support this government's interest and necessity of really thinking about security, having a societal discussion to say, what does it mean to have an army? Why do we need an army to protect our neutrality? And then to think about what kind of military is appropriate for Moldova in light of the threats, in light of current threats, but also future threats, as well as thinking about the military in the support role it plays for all of our countries, whether it's natural disasters or humanitarian assistance. That's often a role as well for the military. So we're working hard to work together. As you know, the United States, the EU, the UK, we've all announced significant increases in support for the Moldovan military, both in terms of programs and personnel and equipment. So we're going to continue to work with Moldova going forward as they decide how best to structure a military to defend their constitutional neutrality.